All right, hello everybody. It's Keith Walls with Abernathy Performing Arts, and we are going to give you a video of some point exercises to do at home. We have Christy right here. She's here helping us today, so we're thankful it's not me demonstrating, or this would be a disaster. So a couple things to think about when you're doing point at home is to make sure you're on a surface that's going to allow you to do that. So I would say wood floors or laminate flooring, or maybe even linoleum might be okay. Anything that's not too slippery. So carpet probably isn't going to work very well. So if your only option is carpet, I would say just be really careful with some of these things because you could slip out from underneath yourself. So we're not going to be doing a lot of impact type of movement with this. It's just strengthening stuff, so jumps aren't going to come into play for anything that we're doing on point here. So first thing we're going to do is you should be properly warmed up. So don't just put on your point shoes and start doing this video. You want to have given yourself some type of warm-up. So either do one of our warm-up videos, stretch and strengthen, or a warm-up video that I'll be producing and putting out here very soon. Or just go ahead and take yourself through a short bar like pliés, tendus, dégagés, rond de jambes. This is the basics, and that should be plenty to get yourself warmed up to do this point class with us. Are you ready?
Yep.
Let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start in our parallel position, and we're just going to take our roll-throughs that we normally do in class. So plie 1, roll through 2, stretch up 3, and lower 4. We're going to do that twice, right? And then we're going to reverse it. We're going to go up 1, over 2, plie 3, and stretch 4. So remember, when you're doing that, that is a strengthening exercise as well as a stretch. So make sure that you're really activating your core and you're really pulling up out of your shoes and you're allowing your feet to really get warmed up and stretched out. Then we'll turn out to first position and do the same thing. Plie 1, roll over 2, stretch up 3, and lower 4, doing that twice, and then up, and then over, and then plie, and then we'll turn back to parallel. Now we're going to do demi-plie 1 and roll 2, half toe, 2, and then back down 3 and stretch 4. We're going to do that twice, right, in both first parallel and first turned out. And then we'll come back to parallel and we'll go to 3/4 point, demi-point. So up a little bit higher on those and then back. And we'll do that both 2 times in parallel and 2 times turned out. Okay, so here we go. We'll start from the beginning. And I'll turn our music on. Maybe. Ready. I'm going to come in and join Christy over here again. So I'm going to show you a couple things to work on as you're doing these exercises. So Christy, can you take first position turned out? So she's going to take demi-plie. And now when she rolls to either, let's say 3/4. So go to 3/4, good. You want to keep your height the same. Like she doesn't want to change her height. She wants to focus the work into her legs and come down and stretch. So show us how you would maybe raise up a little too. So yeah, see how she went up, right? And then come down. Don't do that. You want to isolate this work to be in your feet and in your legs, right? So really isolating what your feet and what your legs are doing, okay? All right, so that's a great thing to get yourself kind of warmed up. So I'm going to try to stay back here so I don't cut myself off. So let's now go ahead and do our stretch one. So we're going to be in first position and tendu front, and then we'll press over, and then pull back, and then close, and then switch to the left leg, tendu, press it over, really pull back slowly, and close, and then we'll go to the side, press it over, and up, and close, and to the other side, pressing over, and up, close. I don't personally like to do the ones to the back, but you're always welcome to. You just have to be really careful of not sickling your foot. So I'm going to demonstrate what that looks like. So here, yeah, it's just a stretch for the inside, and I want to push very hard on that. You don't want to overstretch those tendons out, right? But a little stretch is okay, right? And then we'll come back to parallel, and then we'll brush to the front and cross it over, and then stretch that top of that foot out, so you're really getting a nice deep stretch along the top of the foot, right? And then coming up, and then we'll do the other side. Okay, here we go. Feet in first position. One more time, and out. Press, really stretch that top of that foot. Close, the other side. Good, parallel, brush out, cross it over, deep plie. Stay there and stretch it for a full 8 counts, then coming up. Releve up, really pulling up. Activate your seats. Make sure your turnout is working. Bring those heels forward. Keep the core working. Good. And let's bend your legs, soften the legs, and roll down through the demi-pointes. Good. Plie and stretch. Good. Nice job. All right, so those are some great things to work on. And again, you might want to start out with that as opposed to the other exercise. That's fine too. Sometimes one might feel better than the other to get started with. So I always say you're free to make those choices on your own. So let's go ahead and work on some releve. So we're going to start in first position and plie on 1, releve 2, plie 3, releve 4, plie 5, releve 6, plie 7, releve and stay. Find your balance. 1, stay there. 2, stay there. 3, and stay there. 4. And then we're going to do little push-ups. 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, and then back down into the plie on 1. And we'll do this twice through. So this set twice. Okay? Here we go, everybody. Feet in first position. Ready? press plie. Good. All right, let's go over those push-ups really quickly. So these little push-ups are really great strengthening exercises for that last little bit to get from demi-point to point, or from point down into a nice high demi-point. So they really help strengthen your toes to be able to do that. You want to, can I see the bottom of your, yeah, so lift up the bottom. So we're gonna try to get, we're talking this area right through here. It's known as the pleats of your point shoe, right? So rolling to that pleat and then back up. And it takes a little bit of strength and a little bit of control. So you're just bending those toes a little bit, releasing and popping right back up, right? And really working the shoe into that little position there. So let's just demonstrate a few of those, Christy. So up, she's gonna lower down and then pop back up to point. And lower down and pop back up to point. Good. And just doing a few of those can be really, really helpful for that transition. All right, good. Let's go ahead and take fifth position. We're gonna work on échappes. So échappe is kind of one of the key things to work on during point, and it takes a lot of practice to get them, I guess, worked out, right, to their fullest potential. So you want to start in fifth position. We're going to take plie, and you're going to échappe out. And you want to really pull up in that core and feel your seat activation, and you want to feel those nice and open legs and the heels rotated forward, right? And then we're just going to close and changing feet as we close. So you can see that Christy's doing a great job of brushing on her way out and then brushing her feet on the way in, okay? And all we're gonna do is gonna take 16 échappes. So you wanna work up to that. Maybe you wanna start with just 8 and work up to 16. And then if you're feeling really great at 16, then go to 24 and then 32. I think it's really important to get your échappe strength up to 32 counts, right? Or 32 échappes, which could be 64 counts, right? Here we go. On 8, échappe 1, close 2, and 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Good. All right. So there's a lot of things that you can do with échappe that becomes really helpful to progress the strength and work on that. So I'm going to have Christy échappe out again. So échappe out, really pulled up, right? Make sure that right here feels really flat and forward, and that you're pulling up in your rotation. Now, here's the next exercise that I like to give, is to roll down in second. So take a plie there in second. Now really pulling those knees open again and getting that way back. And then I'm going to make her come into sousou. So she's going to zip into sousou. And plie. And then échappe back out. And then again, softening the knees as she rolls down through, and then zip into sousou. Up and down. Okay? So we're going to do 8 of those, right? So just nice and easy, not too fast. Ready? Taking a nice good plie in second, and really pull up and pull your legs underneath of your body as you do sousou, right? Yeah, so the higher you can get yourself to really pull up through your core and through your back and really lift out of your hips, the easier it is to get your legs to come back together and enough room for everything to work in there, all right? Let's just take them from 5th position. So we're going to take right leg in front, plie, and we're going to do sousou 1 and down 2. Sousou 3 and down 4. Sousou 5 and down 6. And now échappe 7 and close 8. So 3 sousous and an Echappe to change. All right, here we go. Good. All right. You can always tell how pointe is progressing well is if the return from your pointe back down to plie smooths itself out. So you don't want it to feel kind of choppy and dropped. You always want to lift down into those closures and control that. No matter if it's pretty quick or if it's on the slower side, you always want that control, that effort down from pointe is what really helps progress the look of your overall pointe to strengthen itself. All right, let's try some single leg things. Now, some of you might not be ready for some single leg work, and that's fine. So you can always repeat what we've already done or call it a day or move on to another part of our video where we're doing some double leg work again. So this one is a nice easy one that I like to give. It's fifth position, right leg in front. She's going to do a pas de cheval out to the side. So she's going to pas de cheval into a piqué up, right? And then she's going to lower down to plie and releve up, and down, and up, and down, right? We do 4 of those. And then she goes to the other side. And go 1, down, 2, and 3, down, 4, and 5, down, 6, okay? And we're just going to do 4 on the right, 4 on the left, right? And then 2 on the right, 2 on the left, and then single, single, single with the pas de barre to finish, okay? So have fun with this one. Here we go, ready? Right leg in front. Really focus on your turnout of your leg in the back, right? That's in coupe. All right, that was excellent. So I'm going to break that down on some things you want to focus on at home. So I'm going to go on this side of the bar, so as Christy's doing it. All right, so she's going to do her pas de cheval into plie, piqué up. A couple things to think about is making sure that this knee is really rotated. I always put myself underneath the bar. This knee is really rotated and that this heel is really attached nice and strong into the back of your calf there, right? And so that's really important to make sure that you're in that position there. Sorry. Sorry that, we got a phone call. We'll have a phone call in there. Okay, so really making sure that there's a nice strong connection to the back of that foot. And really pulled up on your supporting leg. So this leg and this seat side is really pulled up so you don't sink down into your shoe. You have to really push down and really pull up as you're stepping into those PKs. And make sure that you have a bar to use. Like if you're building your strength at home, you don't want to try to do this in the center yet. You're going to need some stability to help that strength get built. So using a counter or some type of, something to hold on to, right? Maybe you have a ballet bar at home, right? Some people do, right? Have some ballet bars at home. Okay, next thing that I like to do to give you some strength is to do a chasse releve into the bar. So she's going to step back away from the bar, one chasse length. So you're just going to practice it to make sure you feel like you're good distance away. So as you take a nice deep plie and a chasse into a releve, it's just a low arabesque in the back. It doesn't have to be very high. You're really focusing on the working leg, the getting up on, I should say the supporting leg, getting up onto that shoe on that side, right? It's the working leg at this moment because we're on point. Okay, we're just going to chasse, releve, hold your balance, right? Take a plie and then pull back into sousou, and then lift over, tablier back, and you've changed your feet, right? And you're ready for that other side. So do it right, left, right, left. Here we go. Exercise might feel a little bit difficult at first, and that's okay. Not all of these are going to be easy for everybody, but it's a building block, right? It takes some time to develop the right type of strength. A couple things to focus on when you do that one is just not losing the turnout. So when you come into the bar, don't let your foot rotate in and lose your turnout and then releve up on a turned in leg. I'd rather see somebody really take the focus on keeping that turned out and struggling with that, and making sure that their body stays in a good alignment here. The other thing is to keep your back up. So a lot of the times when we're in an arabesque position, we begin to lean forward. So really support yourself by pulling up with your core muscles and lifting with your back out of there as you press and relax your shoulders down and keep everything nice positioned. Focus on that back leg as it doesn't lose turnout also and rotate itself in. But don't let this hip get splayed open. Keep it nice and squared off for these. That'll help the balancing with those. Okay, just a few more things, and I think that you'll have a good exercises to focus on at the bar. A lot of the times, it's just getting the confidence of things. So we're going to take some passes. So fifth position, and she's going to take plie 1, sousou on 2, plie 3, passe 4. Find your balance 5 and 6. Close it to the back 7, plie on 8. And sousou 1, plie 2, passe 3. Stay there 4. Sorry. Find your balance 5 and 6. Close back into sousou and plie. So we'll do that right, left, right, left. Okay? Here we go. So Passe important to build into those pirouettes. I think that becomes one of the biggest struggles for dancers to get is the confidence in their pirouettes. So what do you have to start out with? You have to start out with really stable passes. If your passes you're not able to sustain your balance by yourself, then a pirouette is going to be really difficult. So make sure that you build up to doing passes like this where you can come up and do that exercise without needing the support of the bar because it's not going to be there when you're doing your pirouette, at least out in the center. You can practice pirouettes at the bar, which we do, and we'll try maybe in a later video. Okay, the last thing to do for yourself when you're working at home is to listen to your body and to ask yourself if you're having any issues, right? I think the key things to focus on is your core, right? Making sure that your core is nice and stable and lifting and supporting, and that includes what your seat is doing and how it's supporting your hips and everything lifting out of there. So sometimes you just need to fatigue that process a little bit so you kind of build that strength. So we're just going to kind of go through some things to make that a little bit tired at the moment. All right, so we're going to take fifth position, right? And you're going to start out with a plie and sousou and plie and echappe and roll down and releve and plie and sousou and plie and sousou and plie and echappe and roll down, releve and plie and pull sousou. So we're going to do that 4 times, right? Really pulled up in the core, combine some of those things that we've already done. Okay, ready? Here we go. Last thing today. Times. Here we go. Alright guys, well thank you for joining us. We want you to have fun doing your point exercises at home. And if you have any questions, you can always shoot me an email or pop a comment in our comment box down below if it's available. If not, just go ahead and let us know what you're thinking. We appreciate you guys joining us and we hope to see you next time for our next video. Thanks.